Hello, welcome to Amina's Moment. I would like to thank you for tuning in tonight, as well as those of you who took the time to view the former videos. And I want to let you know, as I always do, I want you to take little bits and pieces here and there, and you take those ingredients that I'm giving you and you make it fit your recipe for success. Because again, what works for me will not work for everyone else. We are individuals and we should be celebrated and treated as such. So let's get started with tonight's video, or discussion rather. And I want to let you know it's another one that's near and dear to me, and I feel like those are the ones that I feel like I am most excited about and I have more passion about. And so tonight we're going to be talking about forgiving others, and that is something that I have struggled with. And so I am so glad that I have the opportunity to experience it, not only learn about it, but learn to apply it. There's a complete difference there. You know, you may know about something, but if you never use it, you don't know what it can do for you. And so I do know what forgiveness can do for you as a young person, or even as an adult, those of you who are over 19 who may be watching the videos. But I'm telling you, forgiveness is definitely a freeing thing that you can do for yourself, and you owe it to yourself. So let's get right in. Again, I got my iPad before me because I am not going to remember everything, and I'm hoping I get it all in within a short period of time. So be patient. I hope you enjoy what God has given me, and I hope you get something out of it. So basically, I wanted to ask you to think back when you were younger. Do you remember when your parent or your caregiver, whoever that may have been, when you either maybe bumped into somebody or did something wrong to someone, they immediately reminded you, if you forgot, make sure you say you're sorry, or they may say sorry, or whatever it was to push you into that moment of apologizing. And I'm sure we all can relate, and we all can say, yes, I remember this person telling me you need to go and apologize. How many of you heard your parents say, now make sure you forgive that person? Well, I didn't hear that. I'm not saying that I wasn't taught that, but that wasn't anything that was as prevalent as make sure you say you're sorry. It's kind of like they embed that in you, parents do. I don't have any kids right now. All I know is what it's like to be a kid. And so I remember that a lot. Just again, my mom saying, or even my dad, actually with my grandmother too, if I did something wrong to my cousin, it was always make sure you forgive that person. I'm sorry, make sure you say that you're sorry. And so since we didn't really hear about forgiving as much, I think that that's something that we have to learn as we get older. And if in fact we do not allow life situations to take over our thinking process, we can actually have some little pieces of knowledge deposited in us, and then we're able to alter it so we are doing better in this area and in that area and in other areas of our lives. And so I want to let you know what I've learned about forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that must be done in a very genuine way. If I tell you that I forgive you and I still dislike what you did, I might be teeter-tottering on the fact that I didn't forgive you. If in fact if I can tell you that I've forgiven you, and I can go on and we can continue on with what we were doing, that really shows that I've let go, because it's a process of that happens on the inside. And a lot of things that we're going to be talking about with Amina's Moment, it starts with ourselves. I'm not putting it on anybody else. I'm not saying that you need to seek out something else, but it starts within, and that is very, very important. And I used to think when you forgave somebody that you typically just went back to the original state that you were in. You went back to how things used to be. That's not always the case. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I really thought, oh, once I said I was sorry, or even they forgave me, that everything was going to be okay and everything's going to go back to normal. It didn't always happen that way. And I had to realize and remember that I can only control me. I can't control anybody else's feelings. I can't control anybody else in a way that they treat me a certain way, because people are going to like you, they're going to dislike you, and there's nothing you can do to ensure that everyone is going to treat you the same way. And I have come to know that even those that may not like me, that's okay, because that's on them, that's not on me. As long as I'm clear with how I've treated everybody, then I shouldn't have anything to worry about. And so as adolescents, as teens, as young adults, I want to encourage you to, of course, remember how you treat people and make sure you do that out of love. And then at the same time, recognize that you cannot make everyone be your friend. And I tell my students that all the time. They come to my office and it'll be maybe like a few of them and they're feuding between, it's two of them, and then the other one is kind of like the mediator of the group. And I let them know, I'm not here to make sure that everyone's friends. That is not what I signed up to do as a school counselor. I signed up to give you information about how you can make better friends, make better choices. But being friends, we're not all going to be friends, and that is perfectly fine. So I want you to know that if you have someone in your life that maybe you just don't get along with, it's not the worst thing in the world. Your personalities may clash, and again, that's okay. If we were all the same, this will be a boring world. So keep that in mind. When we do forgive, we do it for ourselves and not the other person. And maybe you've heard that before, but I believe that when we forgive someone, when we let go of past hurts, past disappointments, we are actually giving ourselves an opportunity to live beyond our past. Think about that. At some point, we have to live beyond our past. And sometimes it's difficult to maintain that or to even achieve it. And I want to actually share something with you. I talked to my sister and I read to her like my notes, so she knew that I was going to be talking about this, and she agreed that I could share her story. But my sister does not have the greatest relationship with her father. And I know for years that she struggled with this, and so her and I are very, very close. Although we are not close in age, we are very close. We talk basically every day. And one of the things that we would talk about, I'm not going to say monthly, but it would roll around every now and then, we would talk about her relationship with her dad. And she struggled with that for years because she wanted to have a relationship that was closer with him, that they were, communicating more, that they had more of a loving father and daughter relationship versus talking just every blue moon. She really desired that. And so one of the things that I recognized is that she continued to show him love. Even though she was hurt and she was upset and she had not forgiven him for the times that he had not been there for her, she still called him on his birthday. She still, made sure that she called him on Father's Day and sent cards and things like that, and just called him when she thought about him. And unfortunately, she didn't get that in return. And so one of the conversations that her and I had, maybe about a year or so ago, we were talking about it and she was explaining her feelings, and I told her, I said, how about writing him a letter? And we kind of talked through what would be in this letter. And I'm so glad even though I'm the younger sister, I'm glad that my sister, she listens to me like I'm an adult like her, versus her looking down on me. And that makes me feel good, because then I know I can have those conversations with her and feel comfortable in sharing my opinion. So we talked about that, and we decided, basically what she was going to do. And so she ended up writing the letter. She did not get a response from her dad. She didn't get an acknowledgement of the letter, and that was very difficult for her. But after she wrote the letter, after she mailed it, she did tell me that she felt at that point she had forgiven her dad, because she was able to let all of this stuff out. Going back to another video, the previous video, you keep that stuff bottled up on the inside, at some point you're going to explode. Now, if you let it out with ease and let it out in a loving way, you are going to have a different result, even for you, not just for the other person, but even for yourself. And so even though she didn't get a response from her father, she recognized that some of those feelings that she had been having, they were basically holding her back from moving on, and she had to do it for herself. She had to let go. She had to let go for her husband as well as for her children. And so today, even though they still don't have the greatest relationship, she has recognized that she is free and that she does not have that past that she experienced. There's no control over her anymore. And it releases a certain amount of bondage that's there. And she, even though she still hurts, because she told me this today, she said, it's not that I'm just 100% numb with it, but I still feel some of the pain, but it doesn't hurt like the initial pain that existed. And so I want to encourage you to forgive. And I want to read something that I have. When we get hurt from a fall, there may be a scar. After that scar heals, you may not feel that pain. You may remember it and you may not like the situation, but just know that you can make a choice whether or not to let go or to hold on. When you forgive, you are letting go of negativity that cannot produce a positive result in your life. It is your choice choose to exist or to live, choose a negative road or a positive outcome, choose to forgive or to be bound by the baggage not forgiving brings. So I want to encourage you, it is your choice. I hope to see you next week, and please know that you can do anything you put your mind to. You are wonderful, beautiful individuals. God made you the way you are, and no one should tell you that you can't accomplish something. You be blessed, and I will see you next time on Amina's Moment.